Okay, good morning all. Today I'm going to discuss the second one yoga chapter. First meaning of the yoga we have discussed is, then importance yoga already discussed, uh, then Indian heritage elements of yoga discussed. Now we're going to discuss on this asanas, pranayama, meditation, and yogic kriyas. First of all, what is the meaning of the asanas? So, according to the Patanjali's meanings of the asanas, Sanskrit word is this: uh, Sri, uh, Sitam Sukhanam Asanam. Again, I repeat: Sitam Sukhanam Asanam. That is called as position which is comfortable and steady. Okay, that position which is comfortable and steady, and uh, in Brahma Parishad, they said that to sit in an comfortable position or posture for everlasting period is called asanas. Okay, so in fact, the asana is means through which physical and mental development, prevention and control of diseases, dealing, aging, which are the desired the effect of yogic practice can be achieved. Okay, next one is that classification of the asanas. There are three type of classification. One is meditative asanas, one is relaxative asanas, one is cultural and corrective asanas. So what is meditative asana? So before meditations, so some asanas going to perform. Which type of asana is going to perform? This Padmasana, Siddhasana, Samasanas are main asanas for meditative asanas. Okay, so that asanas perform before your meditations. Okay, so in fact, the meditation is done by remaining constant in these asanas. It is more beneficial to perform such asanas in complete peaceful and environment. Okay, and next one is relaxative asanas. Relaxative asanas, that's called is savashanas, makrasanas. The main are main the asanas to relaxative asanas. The practice of these asanas removes fatigues and relax an individual physically and mentally. An individual gets complete relaxation after performing such asanas. Next one is culture asanas. Culture asanas called. There are some asanas for culture. Uh, uh, that's Shishasanas, Shavangasanas, Mastasanas, Halasanas, Bhajangasanas, Salvasanas, Dhanurasanas, Chakrasanas, Mayurasanas, etc. So are the prominent asanas for cultural or corrective asanas. This type of asanas regulate and systematics difference activity of the body. Okay, and finally provide energy to the body to perform pranayama, pratyahara, and dharana. So this type of cultural asanas that finally that provide the energy to body to perform pranayama, pratyahara, and dharana. Okay, so next I'm talking about the meaning of pranayama. So pranayama is comprised the two word, one is prana, one is ayama. Prana means the vital energy, or you can say the life force, and ayama means the control. In this way, the pranayam means the control or regulations of prana. So there are the three type of pranas breathing is there. One is first call is puraka. uh, Purakas means the inhalation, rijaka means the exhalations, and this kumbhaka means the retaining the breath. Okay, it means that and after that kumbhaka, there are the two type of kumbhakas. One is internal kumbhaka, one external kumbhaka. What is internal kumbhaka? Internal kumbhaka is that to retain the breath after complete inhalation, called internal kumbhaka. Or external kumbhaka, this same thing is that to retain the breath after complete exhalation is called external kumbhaka. Understood? So one is internal, one is external kumbhaka. So next one is the type of pranayama. So here you have to just know the name of the type of pranayama, no need to explain anything. So there are some type of pranayama. One is Suryavati pranayama, one is Sitkari pranayama, one is Bhastika pranayama, one is Bhini pranayama, one is Ujjayi pranayama, one is Sitli pranayama, one is Brahmi pranayama, one is Morcha pranayama. So there are the eight type of pranayama. just name I'm just read out. And then next one is the meaning of meditation. Meaning that the dhyana and meditation is the higher stage of samadhi. Dhyana is the process of complete stability of the mind according to the Patanjali, and the concentration of chitra on the impulses of without any divergence is called dhyana. Okay, indeed the concentration and the process of thinking or any subject or object is called dhyana. Okay, and that's why I'm just clarify this subtle of perfection into the slide of mind. If this stage is clarified, the stage of dhyana is clarified itself. Okay, so for the example, as in the practice of the Yog Nidra, by naming the trees, plants, fruits, flower, etc., it is said to clarify by imagination only. In the beginning, we do not see anything, but gradually, by creating figures in imaginations, image appear one after the other. When the stage in imagination is deep and the image of the particular object is seen, it is called the stage of meditations. Okay, now when the individual attempts such concentration, it is convert to the stage of dhyana, and whatever he she think or imagines in this stage, he she start seeing them clearly. Okay, so dhyana is not a practice, but it is the stage in which there is a continuous dynamic dynamic consciousness without any obstruction. So dhyana is not practice, but it is a stage that is attain the and experiment. Okay, attain and experience. Okay, so again I repeat, uh, the dhyana is not a practice, but it is a stage that is attained and experience. Okay, next one is the meaning of the satkarmas or sudhikriya. So yesterday I have discussed this one. So its meanings that uh, generally we do outer cleanliness which is easy, but inner cleanliness is slightly difficult. As a matter of fact, the inner cleanliness of our body can be done properly by sudhikriyas, which are called satkarmas. Okay, so satkarmas means six actions are there. So six actions are neti, dhoti, basti, nali, uh, tarak, and kapalbhati. So this is for the satkarma six actions that will clean your uh, cleanliness your proper inner body's part. And next I'm talking about uh, the yoga for concentration related asanas. So there are some yoga we're going to discuss. One is Sukhasana, Tadasana, Padmasana, Shasankasana. So first we discuss the procedure, then benefits and contraindication. Then you can understand. Okay, and differentiate between Padmasana and Sukhasana. So first of all, discuss about the Padmasana, Sukhasana. Look at that picture. Have a look this picture. Two poses are equal, but there will be some difference. So first to discuss about that Padmasana. You know Padmasana, that my left side this one is Padmasana, the right side this one is Sukhasana. Padmasana means lotus and asana means posture. It means sitting a position without any movement. That is called a Padmasana. Okay. So procedure is given. First of all, sit in a squat position. Place in right foot on the left thigh so that the heel in the right foot may touch the hip bone of the left thigh. Then lift the left foot and in the same way keep it on the right thigh. The backbone should be straight and erect. Place your arm on the knees. After practicing for a few days, it's become easy to perform this asana. This is called the Padmasana procedure. And then talking about the Sukhasana. Sukhasana is the combinations of two words, Sukha and Asana. Sukha means pleasure or happiness, and Asana means posture. Okay, so that is called the Sukhasana. Sukhasana is the procedure. Look at that, the Sukhasana procedure. It's that totally different than in Padmasanas. Sit with legs straight in front of the body. Then bend the right leg and place the foot under the left thigh. Again I repeat, bend the right leg and place the foot under the left thigh. Look at that picture. After the after that, bend the left leg and place the foot under the right thigh. Keep the hands on the knee in such way that the palm should raise on the knees. Okay, keep your head, neck and back straight, close your eyes and relax your whole body. This is called procedure of the Sukhasana. And then the benefits of Sukhasana and Padmasana benefits, you know that Sukhasana's benefits, it's improve the concentration, it is the good meditation posture, increase the glandular functioning, improves the leg strength and flexibility. Okay, improve the posture, reduce stress, anxiety. And benefit of Padmasana is there's it helps to relax the body, it helps to stimulate an abdomen and spine, it helps to reducing the blood pressures and muscular tensions, it helps to reducing the abnormal fat, etc. And the contraindication, and means contraindication means that demerit, it means the demerit of the asana. So contraindications of the Sukhasanas: the individual who have knee injuries should not perform this asana for long duration. Okay, that is called the contraindication. And then Padmasana contraindications: individual who suffer from weak or injured knee should not practice these asanas. Okay, so this is the contraindication of the Padmasanas. And now I discuss about the Sasankasanas and Tadasanas. So what is Tadasanas? Tadasanas posture, everybody know the posture procedure. Look at that, stand in attention position, lift your arms upward, stretch your hands upward, raise your heel and come come on your toes. Also pull up your body upward. After sometimes breathe out slowly and come to the previous position. Repeat the same 10 to 15 times. This is called the procedure of the Tadasana. Then Sasankasana. Sasankasana is called as air pose. These asanas especially benefits for the relieve fatigue and promote the concentration of the mind. Okay, and this asanas benefits for regular practice, relieve the constipations, regulated the function of the adrenal gland. It release the pressure on the discs. Okay, and it also control the diabetes. It increase the memory power. This is the benefit of the Sasankasanas. Okay, and then procedures. So here everybody saying this procedure that sit in Vajrasana position, place your hand on thigh, keep the upper body straight and relax while inhaling, raise both the arms above the heel and keep them straight and the shoulder wide apart. Exhale while bending the trunk forward from the hips, keeping the arms and head straight and in the line with the trunk. Then hand and forward forehead should rest on the floor in front of the knees. Bend the arm slightly so that they are fully relaxed and let the elbow rest on the floor. Then retain breath for up to 5 seconds in the final position. Then at the same time inhale and slowly raise the arm and trunk to the vertical position. Okay, exhale while lowering the arm to the knees. Practice this 3 to 5 times. Those who want to claim anger may increase the duration of this final position from 10 to 3 to 10 minutes. Okay, so it's a benefit to remove the anger also. Okay, and then contraindication of the Tadasana. Tadasana is Tadasana benefits are it's clear the constipation, clear the digestive problem, improve the body posture, okay, and it's helpful in developing the physical and mental balance, improve the concentration mind. Okay, this is for the benefits of Tadasana. And the contradiction of Tadasana is there. If you have low blood pressure, you should not practice these asanas. Okay, in case of headache or insomnia, you should avoid practicing these asanas. Okay, who's suffering for the blood circulation problems such as faulty valve, that she should not perform these asanas. I'm talking about the Tadasana. And about the uh, Sasankasanas, the contraindications, those individual who are suffering from high blood pressure, okay, should not perform this asanas. So those suffering for the high blood pressure should not performing these asanas. So this is for the yoga for concentration and related to asanas. So already I have discussed the Sasankasana, Tadasana, Padmasana, uh, yes, Sukhasanas. So procedure benefits contradiction already I have discussed. So if you having any questions on this topic, you can just ask me now. Okay. So thank you for this much. Okay.